How we doing out there today, Gotcha Gang? Kawaii50 here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are focusing on the final unit from the first run of the Final Fantasy Tactics collab, a unit you all have because he is free, Goffard Gaffgarion, and I challenge you by the end of this video to say that 5 times fast, because I know I can't. Let's go ahead, we're going to look at Gaffgarion's skills, the best subclass for him, sort of how you want to build him, what some of his best skills are, and yeah, let's make a good free-to-play Dark-type unit, because if you don't got Stern, this is the guy. This is the guy. So here we are, y'all can take a look at my current in-progress Gaffgarion, got him completely limit broken, still waiting on getting a couple of Awakening Shards, but we got time for that, Gaffgarion has 3 classes in the tank. He's got Fell Knight, which is of course his own personal class from Final Fantasy Tactics. He's got the Warrior as his subclass, and finally, he's got the Monk. But I gotta awaken him 1 more star before I can get that. But it's okay, because actually not very important. Let's go ahead and take a look at Gaffgarion's Trust Master Award. It is a sword known as Vermilion, and Vermilion grants him 68 HP, 122 attack, 5 crit, and in a nice little extra bonus, it has a chance to inflict confusion upon the enemy whenever they are hit with it. So any attack Gaffgarion makes, he's going to have a chance to make that enemy start attacking their friends. Solid. Solid. Now before we go ahead and dive into Gaffgarion's abilities, I kind of want to put up a couple of stats just for the sake of comparison. We're going to have Gaffgarion on the left, and the unit I see a lot of people comparing him to, Stern, on the right, and we're going to see how they stack up against each other. Now, Gaffgarion compared to Stern, you can see he's really got those MR stats and is absolutely noticeable. Stern beating him with 315 attack, Stern also beating him with 1,513 HP, 126 TP, all of that. Stern is just the better unit, but Stern is also a UR. He requires a lot more investment for you to get him maxed out to level 99. So in the interim, if you don't have Stern and you really need a dark unit, Gaffgarion's stats aren't that far behind, and he is going to be a really good investment for you, especially if you get some decent equipment on him, like his Trust Master, and of course you got 2 other equipment slots to augment those stats with as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Gaffgarion's abilities. So you can see how I've got Gaffgarion set up over here. His main class and subclass are what I am going to keep him in all the way. Fell Knight is by far and wide Gaffgarion's absolute best class. Let's take a look at the 2 skills that he gets to keep with him. He of course gets Crushing Blow and Dusk Blade. Crushing Blow saw a little bit of slash damage, but Dusk Blade is the true MVP of Gaffgarion's main kit because it allows him to absorb the target's TP. That's going to reduce their TP, that's going to get you some TP, and it's going to give Gaffgarion a lot more opportunities to do more stuff for your team. But those are just the main commands I have unlocked, because he does get 3 other commands on top of that after you've invested more into them. Abyssal Blade, very, very important. You need 6 stars and job level 12 to get that, but decreases Gaffgarion's HP and deals heavy AoE damage to a bunch of units. He gets Deception, which increases the amount of damage against human-type enemies for 3 turns for himself. A significant portion of enemies in this game are human-type, even in PvP Arena. On top of that, your enemies are gonna be human-type, so Gaffgarion is gonna get an extra chance to deal more damage to them. And of course, he gets Shadow Blade, a really, really good skill that deals damage to the target, but restores that amount of damage as HP to Gaffgarion. So he's going to be able to keep himself alive. Now going over the Fell Knight subcommands, he's got some really, really good subcommands from his own personal class. War Master, of course, increases his evasion for own 3 turns. He gets Conniving Blade, which deals moderate damage to the target, but it's gonna crit when that is a back attack. Gaffgarion definitely hitting those mad gains upon hitting the opponent where it hurts in the back. Not honorable, but Gaffgarion don't really care about honor. He of course gets Unholy Sacrifice, which decreases his own HP to deal heavy damage to units within the area, and he also gets 2 abilities we are definitely going to keep on him. One a passive ability and one a reaction ability. Self-Sacrifice increases Gaffgarion's attack significantly and decreases his resistances to all attack types. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Self-Sacrifice. Let's go ahead, take it off him just to show you how significant this change is. I take it off him, his attack has dropped from 301 to 215. So even at level 15, not even at 20 yet, that is a plus 100 increase to attack, just about. That's crazy. That is absurd. Definitely a skill we want to keep on him as much as possible, and I hit the wrong skill, not Sellsworth's Pride. We're going to go ahead and hit up Self-Sacrifice again. And of course, fitting with that general mold for Gaffgarion, we are going to continue doing what we can to augment his attack on top of that. That is what he is focused on. The more damage he deals, the more he is going to heal from those skills. So for his secondary skill, I gave him attack up level 1 from the warrior class. Max that attack team, and Gaffgarion will put in work for you. Now, all of these attack bonuses are going to play into the reaction ability we have on Gaffgarion, which is, of course, Knavish Mercenary. Knavish Mercenary, you can see right here, has a chance of counterattack when taking damage, and it absorbs the damage dealt as HP. So Gaffgarion, with that maximized attack, is going to heal himself even more. This also has a range height of 2, pretty solidly ranged reaction skill. So Gaffgarion getting that attack, making those gains. And let's take a look at Gaffgarion's master ability. Of course, it grants him initial AP plus 10, so allows him to use some abilities right out of the gate, and gives him a plus 25% increase to critical damage. Conniving Blade deals critical damage with a back attack. You're going to get plus 25% extra critical damage because of his master ability. It is easy to see why Fell Knight is Gaffgarion's best class. You can equip him with Warrior if you want to be contrarian, but Gaffgarion is going to be using Stone Throw, and I know all of you playing the game on auto don't want to use Stone Throw. Now finally, let's go over equipment. For Gaffgarion's equipment, you're of course going to be using his Trustmaster for his main source of damage, but in the interim, I've got equipped on him a Nagnarok plus 2 Assault type. This is going to grant Gaffgarion the extra attack he needs to put in that work until I'm able to completely max out his Trustmaster. If we're talking about accessories, I gave him a Hero's Ring plus 1 I've got right now. Still working on my equipment, so forgive me, but it is of a critical type. We want to up that crit so Gaffgarion can benefit from that bonus to crit damage. And if you're looking for an armor to give Gaffgarion, I would wholeheartedly recommend anything focused on the vital. Give Gaffgarion a little extra more HP so he can tank those attacks, so he can heal, survive, be around to deal damage. And that concludes my overall look at Goffard Gaffgarion. Really a very powerful free-to-play unit, a great substitute for Stern if you don't have him, and a unit that is going to put in a lot of work in the PvE side of things. PvP, I can't really speak to, I haven't tested him yet, but I assume if he is able to survive a Medi and a Cosmo Plume, he's going to be able to stick around, heal himself, and deal significant critical damage to all of his opponents. If you've got any thoughts on Gaffgarion, go ahead, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know how you're building your Gaffgarion if you're planning on using him. If you're not planning on using him, who are you using in his place? I assume it's Stern, but there might be somebody else out there that you're really focused on, and I want to know who that is. This is Kawaii50, again, hoping you have a phenomenal day, and I will see you all in our next video.